almost on the dot. I'm going to give everybody a minute to come in. I've got an important message. Until y'all get in here, I am punching leather and dropping my glue guns. This is great physical therapy for me. I'm going to tell you what. When you're having a rough day, it hurts when you miss. As soon as I get some people in here, I'll start it. Of course, as always, I'll leave the chat up for everyone so that you can catch it at a later date if you need to. I understand schedules are hard, difficult things, and I never really know when I'm going live, mostly because I never know when I'm going to have time. Hi, Ashley. I'm doing good today, Ashley. I've got a big announcement for y'all that I hope that y'all are going to be happy, but y'all may be just as scared as me when y'all hear it. Now, I am pre-punching in a beaver fur, and I've already pre-punched a U in this circular piece of leather here because I'm going to be making a beaver canteen pocketbook. Hey, Savannah. My hair is PT in the pool and a nap. Vidal says Savannah ain't got crap on me. And I've got one of these accordion hair bows from Temu. Honey, I'm telling you, if you got a buck, just go buy one of these suckers. Because when you put your hair in it, it ain't going nowhere. So, it ain't going nowhere. And I have on no makeup because I've been in the pool twice today. But, you know something? It ain't about what I look like. It's about what I have to say. This is my Queen Breakthrough shirt from 2014. And I cut it up because I had dried it so many times it was beginning to shrink on me. So I thought, what can I creatively do to still wear this a few more years? So I cut the puppy up, and it's one that I put on. Lots of times I'll run around the house in those little bralettes like this. And then if the FedEx or mailman shows up, I put on a t-shirt. Now, bear with me for the hammering for a bit, y'all, but I really do have something huge to share with y'all today. And like I said, I don't know if y'all are going to be happy or terrified. I'm kind of both. But I'm not going to lie. I'm both. And that's kind of scary at the same time. So, I don't know. Oh, they're having the breakthrough, the very last Queen North American Convention breakthrough. Is it this weekend? I think it's this weekend in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not able to go because of my health and then mom's knee surgery. It just was not a good time for me. And Mr. Peter Freestone was not going to be able to be there this year because he's had some health issues as well. So I'm not going to get to see him on their last go around, and I love him. But I'm still friends with a lot of them. And some of my closest friends live actually right smack between me and my daughter. And they're like, hey, if you ever get your daughter and you need to stop halfway and take a rest, you can stay a night and visit with us. And I'm like, cool beans, I'm going to do that. I am hammering, I'm punching holes into this beaver hide, and I've already punched this very thick leather. This is added into my physical therapy for the day. I've punched it as a U to here because there's going to be an opening here. I'm going to make a canteen beaver fur pocketbook. So this is going to be the back that lays against your hip and holds the shape. This is going to be the side that gives it its width, and then I've got the top like that, and then I'm going to get creative and make a flat for it out of something. My brain hasn't got that far yet, but we'll make it work. Y'all know I always pull it out of my honey and somehow. Every time. Now, I'll be done hammering in just a minute. But first news is first. My nose itching. That's not the news. Okay, the last I heard, Hunter had, the judge had basically said no bueno to his plea deal because his lawyers had forgot to put in some of the stuff that was supposed to be put in there. The prosecution didn't catch it. Thank God the judge did. I'm really losing hope. I'm losing hope in all of our judicial system. It freaks me out. So they may have come to a settlement and another plea deal now. But earlier, basically, the plea deal that his team had written up, that thank God the judge read with a fine-tooth comb, was going to give him immunity from anything else that they could find. You stinky, stinky little man, you. Stinky, stinky little crack-smoking man, you. No. That's going to go over like a turd in a punch bowl, Hunter. So, and then the judge also noticed that there were not the anyway, where he was acting as an agent that he should not have been acting as. And so the judge said no. Now, I'm sure they probably went in the back room, and now by the end of the day, they agreed to something, and it's still probably going to screw over the American people and give Hunter a slap on the wrist when he needs to be doing about a dozen years in the federal pen. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm allowed to have it, so shut up if you don't like it. This is my channel. Go somewhere else and whine. That's the mood I'm in today, y'all. I'm in heifer mood today. Let me tell you about it. So I'm waiting. I'm gonna lay down and watch the news later after I get some of this done. I want to get some stuff done. I made the most beautiful dream catcher last night. I can be a goddamn girl. I can make girly things, by God. I did. I made the most beautiful ethereal dream catcher, and I still put a bobcat skull and a coyote scapula on it. No, a raccoon scapula on it. No, a coyote scapula. And it's gorgeous. I posted pictures, or did I? No, I did a video about it, and it turned into a short. And I finished another one this morning that is au naturel with a raccoon pelvis and a raccoon skull. And it is a double layer dream catcher within a dream catcher. And I'll post pictures of it later. I also had to go down yesterday and spend most of the day with Mom, which is how I ended up weaving an extra dream catcher, because she was extra dizzy. She's at the stage in her healing where her fluid and blood loss is kind of giving her wooziness, and she's had to up her iron and folic acid and Pedialyte intake. So I made mixed drinks for my mama all day yesterday, which was Pedialyte, don't freak out, and Liquid IV, and stayed with her, made sure she was not woozy. Did some laundry, did some dishes, and dealt with the 15,000 people that check, that drops in to check on her. And I think it's great that she has so many people check on her. And one lady even brought dinner. But at the same time, I told her, Mom, you're not getting the rest you need. You need to be resting more. I said, I know it's lovely that these people love you, but sometimes you need to tell people, go away. Go far, far away for at least 3 weeks. And I kept saying, okay, as soon as this person leaves, we're going to shut the door and take a nap, Mom. I'm going to shut the door and take a nap, Mom. And people just kept coming through. And I was like, I'm fixing to sit at Sentinel on the front porch and be like, by God, go away. Because my mother needs to sleep. And it's great that everybody is worried about her, but let the woman heal. So I'm getting a little protective of my mother, as y'all can see. But I sat with her until Dad got out of the hayfield, because he's trying to get hay put up. He wasn't far from home, but he was far enough it worried me if she got down. So I just drove down there and stayed with her. Now, I'm doing decent stressing my body like this. When I'm home, I'm normally resting, or I'm doing something calming like my crafts or something, and I'm keeping with my physical therapy. Every day that I can get in my pool, I'm in my pool doing my physical therapy, and I'm keeping my body moving. Have I had some mini flares because of the stress? Absolutely. Have I had to take some of my medical medicine and lay down and be like, my body needs to chill or it's going to lock up? A couple times. But I've gotten through it phenomenally. So I have to say, by God, I licked this one. So, we'll see how I do in the future. Now, one thing that we know for myself is that I am not a knee replacement candidate, because I am bone on bone and I have RSD. And I've already had a bunch of knee surgeries, and nothing ever stays fixed because of my RSD and the deterioration. And it normally makes me worse because it then flares my RSD, and then my body goes doop-de-doop-de, and there I go downhill. So that's pretty much how my body works. Y'all know that. And so I've been having problems lately with the scale. It's not moving, and I'm doing so much PT. So much PT. So much PT. And the scale is not moving. And I'm getting frustrated. And so my doctor was like, well, let's get some help in here. And I was like, okay, cool, let's get some help in here. What are we talking about? Well, oh yeah, I know what you went through with Mom. Yeah, it's stressful. Now, my mom is doing all her physical therapy and taking good care of herself, but Lord, we have a tight-knit community, and it's great, but it can kind of be counterproductive at times. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And what was I saying? Oh, so I need to lose some more weight. The scale is not moving. I've been doing PT for 10 months now. The scale is not moving anymore. And if we try to introduce resistance training to my upper body to try to make it burn more calories, I start building muscle, which is not what we want to do, because when I'm in flare, my muscle actually is what pulls everything and causes problems. I've actually had muscle pull away from the bone before. It is not fun. So my doctor's like, we need to get more weight off of you to keep your mobility going, to keep you walking as long as possible, and to set you up for, you know, the longest haul with this that you can manage. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, I can't get any more weight off. I've lost about 35, 40 pounds of my own. It's not moving anymore. I'd like to get rid of this gobbledygook right here. It's my, I call it my waddle, and go, 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 every once in a while. I'm a Tom turkey. But what I'd really like to do is actually get some of the muscle off of my upper body, like my big traps that like to lock. These suckers are painful. Yes, I built them over a decade working with cattle. They hurt, and when they lock up, they literally go up to here, and it's like, eh. I mean, I got some big old traps, you know, and I need to lose some of my traps, biceps, pecs, and lats, because those are primarily what lock down and give me the most pain. I've lost a lot because of the wasting in my legs already. But I need to lose weight as well. So my doctor's like, well, there's a really good medicine. I do not have the gut, because this affects my digestive system. I do not have the gut for Ozempic or the generic Ozempic. And I don't want to take Ozempic anyway, because there's been a lot of, now I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a doctor, but this is just what I've been noticing. And a lot of people taking Ozempic, they're also having mental health issues, ideations that are not healthy, behaviors that are augmented by the medication that I don't want to experience. And that is not the case for the Mounjaro, that is a combo drug. It has something in it that the others don't. And you can start at a really low dose, like 2.5. So my doctor's like, we need to do this. He's like, you're not diabetic, but if I keep this much weight on me for a few more years, I'm going to be diabetic. So we've got to work on this, because the PT, I'm working my butt off, y'all. And I mean, I'm toning up, but the scale ain't moving, and it's not moving long enough that my doctor's like, okay, we got to take action. So he gave me the first month sample of the 2.5s shots, 4 injections once a week. I don't mind to give myself a shot. It is what it is. Dark meat. I've got 5 inches of fat. I ain't gonna feel it. Go right ahead. So that's not a problem. I don't mind that. I am scared about the first couple of days afterwards, wondering if I'm going to be like super sick, super green, super gassy, super pukey. That's what scares me, if I'm going to be down for 2 days, or if it's going to kick me into a mini flare. That's my worry. But I won't know until I try it. This is the lowest dose you can start at, and will probably keep me at this dose, or just go to the 5 and never go higher. Because I do have such a sensitive digestive system, that's where I'll have to be. Now, my insurance is on board with this. They're waiting for a prior authorization to override me trying the other ones first, because of the sensitivity of my digestive system and everything that goes along with this RSD that attacks the organs. And so I think everything's going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and start, since I've got a month that he gave me. I couldn't start Monday because Mom was woozy Monday night. I didn't want to take it Monday night. And then Tuesday ended up having to drive down to sit with her, so I'm glad I didn't take it. She's better now, so now I feel like I can start. So I'm actually going to vlog this journey with you all and do videos about it. Number one, to keep me honest, which, like, I wouldn't tell you the truth anyway. But number two, it will probably help a lot of you guys that may go down this journey on your own as well understand some of the nuances of this, because I have watched so much, I've researched so much, and more people will have positive results than negative. You will have some digestive, uncomfortable, irritable bowel stuff, but I handle that kind of anyway, so I'm like, it's just, it is what it is. Constipation is a big one for a lot of people, but I have medication here for constipation because of my gut issues anyway, so it is what it is. And I drink water like it's going out of style, and I drink electrolytes like it's going out of style, so I don't think I'll be bad on that. The queasiness is what scares me, because I hate being nauseous. They did give me nausea medicine in case it makes me nauseous, but I hate being nauseous. I have weights, but I'm not allowed to use them, because if I touch weights, I puff up like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that we don't want any more muscle on me. We actually want muscle to come off of me. So they're like, you will be doing like band resistance, but I'm not allowed to touch weights per my physical therapist. Don't you dare. So I'm like, okay, because I'm too big as a woman anyway. I've got too much muscle on my small petite frame. And when the muscles freeze and pull, I've actually had muscle pull away from the bone. And so I need to reduce the muscle mass and the fat mass on my body. This seems like a good way. So I'm going to give myself my first injection here after I cook David's meals for tomorrow and get everything prepped for tomorrow in case I'm puny tomorrow. He has food and he's ready to roll. As soon as I do that, I'm going to give myself my injection, and then I'm just going to chill out and sew and see what happens. I know that it will reduce my appetite. It will make my stomach feel funny for a couple of days. Some people have no side effects except for appetite suppression. So I don't know what really to expect, but I know at this point it is my only option. So I'm going to have to try this. And if I do not get some of this weight off in the next few years, I will end up being diabetic, and I will end up in a wheelchair, because my left knee is bone on bone, and I'm lucky I don't have any bone fragments that they need to remove right now. But if I do that, if I chip them again and they have to go in, they're so terrified to do a surgery on me. But the bone fragments set up infection, so they have to go in after them. It's just the RSD, the reflex sympathetic dystrophy, does not do well with surgeries. It swells you. It's hard to heal. It's very dangerous, and your body doesn't fight infection because it's got autoimmune issues. So after months of research by my doctor, who I love dearly, this is what we've chosen together. So David has bought me Boost and Premier protein drinks and yogurt and lots of water and lots of electrolyte mixes. So here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to start this tonight. And I don't mind telling you I'm terrified, but I'm going to vlog it with y'all and let y'all know my experience with it. And if I'm sicker than a dog that has eaten roadkill, I'm going to let you know. That was way too descriptive. Don't know where that came from. But if I have a really bad experience with it, I will let you know, and I will show you how bad the experience is. That's what I was not willing to do anything that was having the mood swing issue with it. I was like, absolutely not. Listen, I work too hard on my mental health. Some days I'm hanging by a thread anyway. We're not going to, screw with that. So, and my doctor, he knows that I research and am very picky about. And this has been a huge decision for me. I'm not going to lie. This has been a huge decision for me. And it's something that I have kind of veered away from for a number of years. And I am just, gummit, look at the size of that needle. By golly wampus. Huh, that sucker, it's half the size of my head. This is something that I have, he's tried to talk me into for a few years now. And I've been like, no, PT. We got on meal kits. We got on calorie conscious Mediterranean diet meal kits. We counted our calories. We changed to mostly water, and if we want something bubbly, it's a diet drink, but I drink mostly water. I don't like a lot of caffeine or soda anymore. It's like syrup now. Ooh. My body is just not able to kick it in. I can't catch second and go when it comes to this because of my issues. So I'm hoping that this does really well for me without any side effects. But I am staying on the lowest dose, like the 2.5 or the 5. It goes all the way up to 17. No, I'm not looking to lose a lot quickly. I'm looking to lose quite a bit over an amount of time. I'm looking to have it kind of correct more of my portion control, which I think is what I still struggle with sometimes. And that way, the slower I lose it and the more I learn as I'm losing it, the longer it will stay off. But as long as my body is going in the right direction, I'll be okay with 1.5 to 2 pounds a week. That's a healthy ratio. That's what I was losing when I was first doing the PT, and my body was actually following along correctly. What's wrong with you? I'd be happy with that. As long as the scale is moving in a healthy direction at a healthy pace, I'm cool. I don't want to be little. I don't want to be skinny. Literally, if I can't walk in a room and at least intimidate 2 people, I don't want to walk in a room. So I never want to be tiny. But for my health, I have to get some of this off of me. So I'm going to have to set my Amazonian princess self aside. And I'm going to have to get some of this weight off of me. And it's like I'm not doing it for vanity. My husband thinks I'm the prize heifer of the county fair, so that's the only person I care about. So it's not about vanity. It's not about how people look at me. It is longevity for walking for me, for mobility, and trying to make sure that my knees stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible, because I am not a knee replacement candidate due to my reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So I have to make some decisions that most people don't have to make. But I am going to try to lose it at a slower, healthier pace, and use it as a tool to learn to finish correcting some of my eating habits that need to be finished correcting, so that hopefully I won't gain all of it back. I know that I'll gain a little bit back, but I'm going to really work really hard to not gain hardly any of it back. If I can just it's like my body went into like a frozen state where it's like, heck no, you can have no fat. And I'm like, no, let it go. It needs to come off of me. All my doctors, my physical therapists are like, you're working your butt off. We know you're doing your exercises. We know you're moving. We see, like, I make videos about it. I'm doing my walking. I'm doing my pull exercises. I love the pull exercises. I try to do them twice a day if possible. And I have been much more active these last 2 months than I have been in 6 years. But for some reason, my body is just not letting go. So this is how we go. If I start to have any type of mood swings, now that is not there's not a lot of people saying mood swings are a big thing with the Mounjaro, but if I've told David, if I start to not act like myself or handle things in my normal way, you please tell me and then call my doctor. Now, he's got paperwork signed where he can call the doctor and tell the doctor everything, and I will stop it immediately. I will not compromise my mental health for anything. I would rather die early than be on this life, be on this earth, and not be mentally sound. That's just how I am. If I'm going to have an interaction, I'm going to be me. I'm not going to be someone else, and I'm not going to transform myself to lose weight and not be me. I'm going to be authentically me. So that is something I will be watching, but this is the medication that has the least amount of those side effects. So that's why we went with it. I refused the Ozempic and the generic Ozempic because of that, but also it is too strong for my gut. It would just kill me. I mean, it would just absolutely just gut me if I took that. Yeah, I've been stuck now for several months. Like, I lost a lot immediately, and then it just stopped. And my doctor was like, what happens? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. You can figure it out. We both know, because I have no freaking clue. And I'm toning up. He knows. He's like, you're doing everything. You're toning up. He's like, but you're building muscle, just doing resistance training, but you should be losing fat. And I'm like, dude, I've cut the carbs. I'm on a Mediterranean diet. I do the meal kits. I don't really snack a lot. I watch my sugar. My body, I think, with this RSD just needs a push. because it does affect my digestive system, and it did several years ago affect my pancreas. Now, I've been pancreatic issues free long enough to try this medicine. That's why we're trying the softer medicine, because the others would be too harsh on me because of my past history with that. So I've gotten enough space away from that I can try this softer medicine. So we're thinking that my body just needs a little, hello, wake up, work, and I think that this may be it. Now, if I take the first dose and I can't function, I have to get to the first week and make a decision. And if it's just something that I'm not going to be able to function on and be green and be nauseous and be taken out of life, I'll have to make another decision. But I won't know until I try it. And let me tell you all, I'm terrified to try it because, starting new medications freaks me out. I know this one is just a sugar stabilizer, and it's not got anything in there that's going to, really I can react to. I just need to watch my sugar, be prepared for my tummy to be upset, and know that the appetite suppressant is coming, and to very lightly eat. And I've been eating light for 2 days now because I knew when I darted myself, I didn't want to have a lot of food in my gut. So I've been eating super light for a couple of days now. Awesome. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. And they also, I take B12, and they said the B12 was also a very good help to keep the nausea lower. So I may just also start taking my B12 before the shot as well. Because I know after the shot, sometimes your medications don't absorb correctly, so you're supposed to take your medications beforehand. But I will definitely move both of those prior in that amount of time. That makes me tell her thank you very much for that. I don't know if it's going to work. It's worked for a lot of people. Will it work for me? I don't know. But I'm at a point where this is what I got to try. And so, by golly, here we are. Dagnabbit. And we're just going to have to, I feel I've prayed about it, and I just kind of feel like the Lord's like, listen, I do create helpful people. Not everyone that makes a medication is evil. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to try it. And I'm terrified. Kim is really close and on standby if I get really sick. I have stuff here if I feel like my sugar is dropping that I can take a nibble and feel better. But it still is a scary process because I'm home alone a lot. So I'm trying to time it to where when I take it later, it will kick in probably by the time Dave gets home. That way, if I feel really sick, I'll have David here with me. And then tomorrow I may have company, so I'll be okay. I dropped my thread. Don't give up. Bless her heart. Tell her if you want to email me, if she wants to give me pep talks, I will share my cell phone number and she can pep talk me all she wants because I'm going to need them. I have been the busiest person the last few weeks, but I'm going to stay close to home. I waited till Mom was doing better, and so she's like, I'm good, Elizabeth, start your medicine. And so I was like, okay. And honestly, those couple of days I waited, it's because I'm a giant pansy. You are a giant pansy. And it was because I'm a giant pansy, and I was terrified to start. So I'm going to do it, though. I've got to do it. It's got to happen. So, by golly, here we go. And I'm just, really ready for change. Because I've been stuck at this level for a while now, and I'm really ready for a change and to get over this hump that I've been on and get into the next stage of this health journey I've been on. Because I've been y'all know how long I've been trying to improve my health, because this is basically a terminal disorder, and I refuse to go down easy. Just not that person. I'm going to be a turd the whole way out. Just who I am. So I am, I'm really trying to fight this just as much as I possibly can and stick around as much as I possibly can. So, I had to get real and talk to David about funeral plans the other day, and he did not like that. He didn't like that. And I said, well, listen. I said, I'm going to go first. And he said, what makes you think that? And I said, health issues. And he was, and I was like, do not waste a lot of money on me. I was like, just fricassee me and put me in a pretty box or a pretty bowl. Hang on to me. And then when something happens to you, he's already got his burial stuff. I think his parents have already got that. They did that for them as children, which was morbid but sweet. And I said, then when you pass, they can just stick me in the box with you. One box, two people. I'm a couponer. Listen, it makes sense to me. Or, spread me on the cow pasture. I'm good. Spread me at the horse pasture. I'm good. I'm fine. David does not like the thought of us not being laid together. So I'm like, okay, just hang on to me and stick me in the box with you. The kids know what, the decisions we've made. He did not like that. But, I'm at the stage in life and with this disorder where I have to think about things like that. I know it makes him uncomfortable sometimes, but it's where I am. Okay, good. Thank you. That gives me more hope too. And some people don't even have sickness. My brother had horrible experience, but he also had a lot of other stuff going on and was, he had a couple 100 pounds on me and it was not healthy. So he had a horrible time with it, but he had more going on. So I'm hoping that I won't have his experience. I'm looking for my other needles. I really do keep things put away, but then when it gets before a vendor sale or a display or the county fair is coming up, I think David's going to enter some stuff at the county fair. My kitchen just turns into a crafting blow up. I mean, it's just kaboom. It's just bad. But I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try my darndest to do this, to get through this, to make this happen, and stick with it. And I'm just expecting 2 or 3 days of my body going. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to have to get used to this. You can do this. And I'm just and I've watched enough people that have had success stories where I'm like, okay. So I'm been, having those little, you can do this, by God, you can do this. I've been having those talks with myself. David has gotten into my sewing kit and got my thimbles out. David has been trying to learn how to sew. He wants to be able to help me sew. So he's been trying to learn how to sew. And I think it's the sweetest thing ever. But it's so funny to watch a man with a 14 size ring finger try to sew anything. Okay, this fits his finger. And look how much bigger it is than mine. And it barely goes around his finger to help him push that needle through. And look how much room I have in that sucker. Cracks me up. Oh, he cracks me up. So I'm going to do some sewing tonight. But the first thing I'm going to do is get his food ready for tomorrow, just in case I am not in the mood to look at food tomorrow. So I'm trying to be smart about this. And I may make a couple of days of meals for him, just in case I have a couple of days where I'm like, no. So I think Gypsy may pop over tomorrow. She's going to be on the road. And I'm hoping I feel like getting in the pool and soaking and doing some of my exercises and stuff while she's here. And I'm hoping I don't have a huge reaction to this. So send me good energy and thoughts and prayers because this is one medicine I really do hope works. I don't get many that work. This is one that I really want it to work because I'm at a place where it's all I've got left going for me. So, surgeons look at me and they're like, "Hi, Denise." I have threaders, but you see, I don't even take time to take them out. But I sit here sometimes and get really aggravated that I can't thread my needles right anymore. And then I go, "Well, you've got threaders, those little, helpers." But then I'm not too lazy to get the threaders out. So it's my fault I struggle. Hey, me, I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the reason I struggle. I have bad habits. It's all my fault. David's like, "Why don't you go get that threader?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to. Because I ought to be able to do this." And he'll be like, "Well, it's meant to help you, Liz. Go get it." And I'm like, "I can do this myself." And 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Go get the threader." My eyesight actually has improved a little bit since my health. Since I got all that bladder stuff cleared up and got off all those antibiotics, my eyesight's cleared up a little bit. But boy, I tell you what, first thing in the morning, I am blind. I am blind as my mama's diabetic chihuahua. And, well, he's blind. You know what that little turd did yesterday? I took him out for Mom. And you have to tell him, because he's geriatric, he's like 16 years old, and you have to go, "Oliver, all the way to the grass," because he has to go over the cement drive, all the way to the grass, all the way to the grass, all the way to the grass. I'm on repeat. I'm like a freaking mine. I'm like one of those birds. And he looks at me, he puts his front feet in the grass, and then proceeds to pee on the concrete, which means now I have to bathe him. Little turd. My mom's dog is Satan. He's Satan. And then he looks at me while he's doing it. I'm like, "Okay, the grass means all 4 feet on the grass, you little terror. Not just 2. And he's like, "I do what I do. I own this place." And I'm like, "Listen, I'm bigger than you and I'll squish you like a bug." And then he acts like he's going to go back in. I'm like, No. You're not going to get to come back out 30 minutes. You better potty right now. So go pot. On the grass, on the grass, on the grass. He looks at me, and I tell you, squats right in front of me and poops on the concrete drive. Which means I have to go get a little shovel that's meant for coal shoveling out of the wood stove, scoop it up, and pitch it into the woods. I have become a pooper scooper for a diabetic geriatric chihuahua in the last month. I don't think it's fun. And I said, "Mom, do you really do this much for this dog?" She goes, "Well, yeah, we love him." I said, "I don't think he reciprocates that. I think he just thinks he has slaves." And he's losing his eyesight. So anytime anybody comes into the house, it's and I'm like, "Oh my God." And so I've been working on him. And if I'm there alone with him and he starts barking and I go, "Shush," he's like, "Oh, okay. Big dog's here. She'll take care of it." And he's gotten better. But as soon as Mom came back home, he started it again. I guess he thinks he's protecting her, but all he's doing is annoying the far out of me. So, but Mama loves him. And the day that Mom had to spend overnight in the hospital for a knee surgery, that dog missed her so much. And it made me actually kind of love the guy a little bit. But I'm here to tell you, he's Satan. He's Satan. I'm pretty sure he's the Antichrist. I'm not lying. He is the most evil little dog. And if y'all met him, you would be like, "Oh, yeah, he's mean." And I call him Oliver, and I call him Oliver because he likes to be fussy. And then he gets mad at me when I do that, and then he has to growl at me extra. But my mom is actually in good spirits. She's doing well. A lot of people get really depressed at, this 2nd and 3rd and 4th week of knee surgery, knee replacement, because they're doing the physical therapy, but they're not getting as mobile as they want to be. She's actually doing pretty good, but she's watching quilting shows on YouTube and getting geared up for a big quilt. And I said, "You better not go down the basement stairs until your physical therapist says you can. And I better not find you at the bottom of the basement stairs before the physical therapist says you can." And I told her that if she was feeling better next week, I would go down there and pull her up some stuff to start hand stitching in preparation for whatever she's watching. We quilt completely different. I'm an abstract. It will become what it wants to become. And she is a pattern. Don't deviate from the pattern. I make her so mad when I craft with her. I really should video it for Answer. Heifer! Hello, Heifer! You said hello, it made me want to say Heifer. But I really love to irritate her when we craft together. Because, I mean, she is so, like, straight-laced pattern follower. And I'm like, Simplicity who? Butterick who? Flying geese what? And she's like, Elizabeth. And I'm like, listen, Mom, it will become what it wants to become. Although I have to say, I'm very proud of my dream catchers I made last night and this morning. I think they're beautiful. Oh, and I told y'all I was going to thieve something from my mama. I thieved it. I'll show you in just a second. Oh, he knows he's doing it, and he knows he's making me mad. He looked at me the whole time he was pooping, and I was like, you little chihuahua fart head. Ugh. I mean, I get irritated with him. I was like, listen, if you were mine, I would have done punted you into the next county, dog. He gets on my everlasting nerve. But my mother loves him, so I take care of him. I even gave him ear massages and tried to, like, perk him up when she had to stay overnight in the hospital and he missed her so much. Because he really went downhill. And I was giving him his diabetic shots and stuff. He really went downhill. And I was like, this poor little dog loves my mother so much. So I felt bad for him then. And I was like, okay, I'll be nice to you. But as soon as she got home, he went right back into his old cantankerous self. And I was like, oh, that was short-lived. He was kind to me for 2 days. Yay, 2 days. I got 2 days of kindness out of Oliver. So, and he does like he doesn't like for me to bring Oscar, but if I don't bring Oscar, he's like, where's your dog? And so I have to bring Oscar. Well, she's going to have to do something. She takes better care of her dogs here because my mother showed me his clothes drawer yesterday. He wore it to the vet. My dad took him the other day. A collar, a tie with a little Scottish vest. All he needed was one of them little low underpass hats. They take pictures of him at the vet's office. He has like a collage. There's a montage of Oliver at the vet's office. They love him. I don't know why he's Satan, but he is. He really is. And I'm trying to find this next punch. Well, I tell you what, these leather punches are a pain in the hind end. But she even has a Hawaiian shirt. Now listen, we live in Tennessee. When is this dog ever going to need a Hawaiian print shirt? When are you ever going to need? Now, I will tell you that my father has an almost matching one, and he will wear it with his camo shorts. And he will take my mother out like that, and you don't know if he's going to go and play 19 holes or stalk something on the golf course. It's up in the air. You don't know. You have no clue. He has been working himself working himself to death in the hay the last few days. He has taken hay off his property for his cattle. So he'd come in, was not feeling good yesterday. He overdid it yesterday, and I was worried about him. I am buying him some of those sport cooling towels to wear on top of his head. Because he's 70 and he goes like he's 45. He goes, well, he gets around better than me, let's just be honest. Y'all seen him go up that hill. He beat me up that hill, by golly. But he came in last night and was not feeling well. But when he got to feeling better, I went home. But I worry about him because he's, still so active at 71, but he does have a lot of, his knees and arms and elbows and stuff don't work quite right. So I worry about him when he gets out in hay and working. His brother still does all the hay with him, so they take care of everything. But I still worry about him. And I'm useless in the hayfield now, so I feel bad about that too because I used to be like one of the biggest helps. I can't do anything now. If I had to sit even in the nicest of tractors that they have, if I had to sit in one all day, I would be in a flare. I mean, it would just beat my body. I would feel like I'd been in a Jeep crawling rock climbing contest all day, and I would be in flare. So he does way better than me. And I told him he needed his own Facebook or YouTube channel because y'all thought he was hilarious. And he likes to be in my videos. Y'all see where I get my personality. I get from my dad. I get my smarts from my mom, and I get my personality from my dad. And that's not knocking my dad. He's a very smart man. But my mother still has a love of learning. And I got that from her. It's still with me too, and it's my daughter's the same way. I dropped my thread. Had to pick it up, and that hurt. Let's see. Let me get caught up here. Gypsy's on with us. Yeah, well, with all the rain that we got, and then we've got a few dry days, he was able to get an extra cutting, and they were not about to overlook that. So him and his brother got up that extra cutting, and it's just hay that they won't have to purchase if they get low this year. So it's a good thing, but it's just muggy down there in that valley. It just hangs because it's on that river. It just hangs, and up here at night, if I sit in my hammock at night, I'll actually want a little bit of a blanket because it's kind of chilly. Down there, even at 2 a.m. on the back porch, I need a Baptist revival fan. It's hot. And it just stays hot down there. But I told y'all I was going to thieve something from my mother. Hang on. I thieved it. With permission. I told her, I said, I'm taking this home, Mom. You put it on your back porch, and it's too precious to put on your back porch. It needs to be cleaned, and then I'm going to have to poly spray it. But it's got 2 cowboys over here by the fire, and it's got a wagon and a sunset and a night sky. It's got cattle off in a mountain in the distance. My mama painted that, and she hung it on her back porch, and it was getting rusty, and I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I said, can I have that? And she goes, yeah. I said, are you lucid right now? Can I have it? She goes, oh, no, yeah, you can take it. And she said, yeah, way too easy. So I'm going to clean it up and polyacrylic it and put it somewhere in my house. And the old railroad pictures of Papa's that Granny had, I get one of those. So I'll get to bring that home soon. I'm not going to, I don't think it's right to move it yet. I slept in Granny's old room the other night when I was down there, and I felt such love. I wasn't sad at all. I just felt such love to know that, this is where Granny was for the last months of her life, and she was content here. And I watched her TV. I actually watched a Western on her TV for a little while, and it didn't bother me at all. I just felt such love, and they had got a new bed and put in there, and because the hospital bed's gone, but I just felt love in there, and I slept so good that night, and it just made me think of her, and I was just like, I miss you, Granny, but I love you, and I'm happy you're happy now, and I felt good because as I looked around that room, Mom had decorated it for her, and put a lot of things for her to look at, a lot of memories up for her to remember when she was having good days. And it just made me feel good. To look at it kind of from her vantage point of laying in a bed, I felt that my mother had done an amazing job for my Granny for the last little bit of her life. It was a good feeling for me. Oh yeah, the price of hay is good. God almighty. So yeah, they thought, well, we're lucky enough we've had a season where we're going to be able to get an extra cutting, so they took advantage of it, and I don't blame them at all. But it's a lot of work. If nobody's ever took up hay, it's a lot of work, and they've got a lot of the mechanical stuff that makes it a lot easier because they have a big farm, but still, it's still a lot of work. So, and I've got to edit the rest of those pictures. I'm trying to split my time and do things. So I'm still working on stuff for these sales, but I'm trying to get those done. And then I'm going to make a private linked video for Gypsy and her family, because where I went Sunday, I can tell them, right, Gypsy? I can tell them now. Why can I not get the needle through this hole? Yes, okay. Where I went Sunday was So a few weeks ago, Gypsy's daughter was saved at church, and they scheduled her baptism for Sunday. And that was something I just was not willing to miss. And so Kim and I actually both went. And we went for Sunday school, church, and the baptism, and a little picnic afterwards at a beautiful park. And just got to have a good chunk of the day, like 5 hours, with Gypsy and her family. And I met some of the extended family, some of the siblings. It was very nice to finally put faces with names, and they're probably terrified of me, but it was very nice to meet them. And I was just so proud of her daughter for taking that step. And that's a big moment in a teenager's life. And it's just something you just don't want to miss. It's just something you don't want to miss. I even participated in Sunday school. Oh, was he? Well, you tell him thank you. And I never got to tell him what I did for a living. That might explain a lot of my tattoos and my status, my behavior to him. But I really got a good vibe from that man and that woman. They were really sweet. And so I went up there and I took some photos, and I'm editing the photos, and I took video of the baptism. And I'm going to make a little private video for Gypsy to share with her family. So I'll make it and put it on my YouTube channel, but it won't be accessible for everyone. Only people she gives the link to can access it. So but I'm going to do that for her and her family. And I'm about halfway through the photos. It takes me forever to edit photos on that software that I have. So it's a process, but, I like to see how they turn out, so I don't mind doing it. It just, when I sit down, I have to be prepared to be there for a while to edit. So it's like, I got to edit. I'm going to be here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, And I only get like 3 done. And it's just because it's just a slow process. It's just all it is. It was a baby shower tonight. Oh my goodness, that church is just a rolling. Well, and the pastor's wife is pregnant, and she's the prettiest pregnant woman I've ever seen in my life. I tell everybody I look like a Cape Buffalo that was like swollen and standing in a rice paddy field fixing to charge somebody, because I looked mean and just fluid filled and aggravated the whole time I was pregnant. I just looked mean. But we had a great day. I come home and took a nap, but then I got up and made David's dinner. And so I did pretty good. This is garment quality first, so it doesn't lose any hair. I love it. Oh, I love it. It's just so much easier to deal with than the other sometimes. And not that the other is not good. It is. It's just these water creatures like beaver and otter, they don't lose their hair as easily. So I don't feel like I'm condemning my house when I'm sewing one of these. So this will be the side of the purse. This will be the back that goes against the body, and then I have another round in the front, and then I'm going to make a flap for the top. I don't know out of what yet. Ain't got that far. My brain ain't got that far. We'll see when I get there, and I'm hoping that I have enough gumption to get it done, and I'm hoping if I time that medicine just right that I'm not sick if Gypsy swings by tomorrow, because I really want to get in the pool. If I am violently ill, I will totally message you and save you the miles. But I don't think I'm going to be violently ill. I've ate really light for 2 days. And I do okay with greenness. But I just don't like to be green forever. So it's not easy being green. Kermit the Frog. This is how my brain works, y'all. And if you want to know if I talk like this, even when the camera's not on, yes, Gypsy can verify. I talk to myself all the time. It helps me process. I talk through things. It helps me process. Y'all should try. So I'm going to take a beginning photos and everything, or video probably, and let y'all see how fat I am. And hopefully we'll be able to see some changes in my body, inside of this first month. We'll see enough changes to say, okay, that was worth it, and keep going. And hopefully the insurance will approve the prior authorization. My doctor, that everybody seems positive right now, so I'm just like, okay, hope you're not blowing smoke up my butt. But everybody seems really positive, so I'm trying to stay positive too. It's time, y'all. It's just time. If I don't make some more changes and improve, then I am just by act of knowledge going to end up diabetic in a few years if I don't take control of it now. So, but I mean, my blood work and stuff is still good, but he's like, with the weight, it's just time. And I'm like, I know, it's just time. Used to be you could get coupons for it, but now you have to be actually diabetic to get coupons, not just pre-diabetic. Heifers. So, that's why I have to do the prior authorization. It used to be you could just get a coupon and it was $25 a month. And if you were pre-diabetic or having, just so much overweight, they would let you use it. So eventually I'm sure they will make an off-label generic brand of this as well. They just haven't got there yet. But it seems, less hostile than the other ones and easier. I use Viva Video, but I'm looking for a better software. Now, when I edit my photos, I use PicMonkey, but I use the pro version to where I can go in there and airbrush and add makeup and put spotlights and sunspots and do all that stuff. And it's like $8 a month, but I only register it if I'm going to use it for that month, and then I just stop my subscription and start it back if I do a bunch of photographs. So I only pay as I need. I keep the Viva Video Pro because to go over 5 minutes, you have to have the Pro. So, and I always go over 5 minutes with my videos because I can talk the leg off a mule. So that's what I use. I'm looking for better. Like I used, what was it? I used another one that was really easy too. What was it? Oh my gosh. If I hadn't wanted to tell you, I could have remembered. It was free and it had all the same, but it would, lots of times it would lock up halfway through the export and you would lose your video. And I'd be like, nope. I was like, nope, not doing this again, not working for 4 hours and losing it during export and having to do it all over again. So I just decided that the few bucks to Viva Video was worth it. And I pay Viva Video. But now I'm looking for something better. And I edit them on my phone right now. I don't edit them on my computer because sitting at the computer can hurt me quite a bit. Even though I have a laptop, it can hurt me quite a bit. And it's easier for me to do my iPad or my phone. And I can go between my iPad and phone. So that's helpful. But I don't try to do like massive editing. I don't want to look like a pro. I just want you to know I wanted to share something and try to make it pretty. When I make spelling errors, it ticks me off because sometimes I can't see when I'm working on my little phone screen. I can't see the spelling error until I watch it back and then I'm like, crap, I made a spelling error. You have no idea how much that irritates the crap out of me. Because I am like, I can't tell you how many spelling bees I won in school. And I'm like, great, now everybody's going to think I'm stupid. But I'm not going to go back and re-export them and upload them because sometimes it takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours to upload videos from my stupid, slow internet. So I'm not about to go back and redo it. So sorry for the typos sometimes, but it just happens. It's life. I've gotten that far around. I mean, it's going to be pretty. And when the fur fluffs it, it's going to have more of a round look. It's not perfect, but when the fur fluffs, it will have more of a round look because the fur is very forgiving. The fur is very forgiving and will kind of help the edge look round. So. But I used to have a canteen purse when I was a kid and I loved it. And so I looked at David and I was like, I'm going to make a canteen purse. And he goes, I don't know what that is. So I was like, I'll show you. Give me a few days. Clip cut on my app store. That's the thing is it's you don't know, and then you spend money trying to see if they're worth anything, and then they're crap, and then you feel bad because you spent money on crap, you know, and it kind of discourages you from making videos. Nail, a little bit of Nail has a new video out today. She's doing wigs again. I've got it in my queue to watch it next time I lay down. So make sure you go watch a little bit of Nail and give her some love. She cracks me up. I adore that woman. But I hate spending money on them just to find out that they're crap. Because then I feel like I've been hoodwinked and I get mad at somebody. Oh, and I have a new dedicated FedEx driver, and he's a sweetie pie. And he literally left my box 3 inches from my front door today. If I open the door, he'll bring it in for me. And he's like, I know this is important for you. And he was like, your old good guy trained me. And he was like, I got you. And I was like, thank you. I was like, my God, thank you. So FedEx fixed. And Home Chef was wonderful. And the one day that it was later than normal, they even gave me back my shipping money. And I was like, you don't have to do that. I was like, it still got here that day. And they're like, yeah, but it should have got there by 5. So we're giving you back your shipping money. And so I've been impressed with them. They've been sweet to me. And it's a really easy way to make sure that we're eating a diet that we're supposed to be eating. And it really helps with portion control. And David actually likes the food. So, and I'm keeping all the recipes and putting them in a binder so that when I get ready to take over on my own, I have all the recipes and will still know how to make these dishes. And they're not super, I got the easy ones for people like, you know, that can only stand up for so long. I got the easy prep, but the Mediterranean and calorie conscious easy prep. And I have to admit, they're good. Yeah, I had tried Dinnerly or Every Plate. I was not impressed. And this one I'm impressed with because they send everything in separate bags. They don't have to sort through 5,000 ingredients and be confused that I've grabbed the wrong thing. It's all sorted out except for your meat. Your meat is kept separate, but everything else is sorted out so you know what you're grabbing. I love them. And now that FedEx got it figured out, I feel so much better because I was like, you know, if I lose this meal kit delivery, how am I, with all that I've got going on, going to find the strength to grocery shop because my legs can't hack that. It's too much. Walmart is not a place I go. I do pickup orders if I absolutely have to have something from Walmart, but it is not a place I've willingly ever put my butt. I'm just telling you. Well, since it's just David and I, if we had children at home, we would not be able to afford them. But since it's just David and I eat so little anyway, it works out. And so he gets 1 serving, and then the second serving that I get 2 meals of everything. I split. I take half of it and eat it for my lunch or dinner, and then I send the other half with him for his lunch at work. And so he eats lighter at night before bed, which is good. And then I have, I'll put like almond butter or something on one of those gluten-free wraps. What do they call them? Tortillas. And that flavored almond butter, and have like a little sweet almond butter wrap. And that'll kind of satiate any kind of cravings I have. But I'm learning how to do like salmon bowls. David does not like salmon. So I'm learning how to do salmon bowls and tuna bowls. And I love chickpeas. David hates chickpeas. So I'm learning to do a lot with chickpeas. And so I'm going to be doing kind of my own little stuff for a while. But it's going to keep, the other stuff's going to keep David fed. And it's simple enough that if he needs to cook it, he can follow the instructions and cook it. Well, and that's the thing. After the kids left, I would make so much food because I was used to making for us 4 and whoever would come, pop in for dinner because I always had somebody else's child here. And I was still making food for an army. It took me a long time to realize, hello, Elizabeth, you don't have an army here anymore. And finally, I got slowed down. And I realized we wasted a lot. What I like with this is that there's really no waste. It all gets eat. There's no waste, and it's really good. And I've learned how to season things better. I mean, I can season, but I've learned how to use more different seasonings in different ways, and make different flavors that I did not have growing up that I actually really enjoyed experimenting with. And so I've learned a lot. I mean, I can make the gravy from scratch and do all the country cooking, but this is just a really different way of cooking that's healthier that I needed to learn. And so that's what it's kind of been a school experiment for me. And honestly, by the time I paid Walmart for, what their stuff cost, and then would try to pay for that, there's a program that if you put your meals into it, it will actually generate the Walmart list that you need to shop for. But by the time you pay for that and go to Walmart, you might as well just go to a meal kit program, because that freaking thing's expensive. I don't know why they made it so expensive. It's like $10 or $14 a month, and I'm like, well, my God. Or 10 or 4. It's every time you use it, it's like $10. And I'm like, well, if you only shop once a month and you're able to do that, it's great. But if you're most people and you're shopping week to week, that's 40, 50 extra bucks a month that you're spending. That's not on food. It's just on somebody generating your grocery list for you so that you don't have waste. I don't like that. So I like my meal kits, but it's teaching me also the aisles that I don't ever need to go down in Walmart. And it's curbing a lot of my cravings and David's cravings. His cholesterol was much better the other day. And his weight's holding. He lost quite a bit of weight when we first started him, and now his weight's holding. So, we're doing pretty good, I guess. He could lose a few more pounds, but I'm telling you, that man don't have any jiggle fat. He thumps like a watermelon, his belly does. He's just built different. But that's the workingest man I ever met in my life. Even when I do my PT in the pool where he should be resting before work, he will put on his swim trunks in case he thinks he has to save me. And his big old Amish brim hat, and he'll go hoe the gardens and keep an eye on me while I'm doing my physical therapy in the pool. And it's so funny because he's in muck boots, swim trunks, a t-shirt, and an Amish hat. Imagine that. Go ahead and laugh. It's funny. Boy, he got some chicken legs, and he'll leave his tube socks on in his muck boots. I do not understand that. That would fricassee my soul. I don't know how he stands that, but he does. I have photographic proof of that, so if I ever want to blackmail my husband, I got it. I got sick of HelloFresh too because they did not have a lot of meal choices, and that is why another thing I like Home Chef. It's a little bit more expensive, but the quality of the meat and the recipes and the options are so much better. And I'm not a paid sponsor. That's just my opinion. I do have a couple of little coupons. If anybody wants a coupon thing, you can email me, and I'll send you a coupon code. They give me a couple. I think there's a couple in the drawer. I think if there is, I'll give them to you freely. I don't, you can have them. But for us, it's been great because by the time I used to put in my grocery order and then pay the delivery boy to pick it up, because I was very sick over the winter, we were just out of so much money, and it just made sense for us to do the meal kits at that point. And I hope that in a few more months I've got enough weight off of me that I enjoy going to the farmer's market and to we've got a natural and au naturel store now opening up in town. It's locally owned and sourced. I'm hoping I feel like doing all of that myself. It's the tube socks for me. It's the tube socks with the muck boots, yes. And that Amish, it looks like an Amish hat. When I want to make David mad, I call him Mr. Yoder, because literally if he puts on his uniform, his navy blue uniform pants, and a polo or button-down shirt, and goes to the Amish Muddy Pond leather store, the little girls will follow him around thinking he is a handsome, unattached Amish man because he doesn't wear a wedding ring, because he has a size 14 finger, and sorry, that's just too expensive, and we've lost a few, and sorry, he knows he's married. I ain't paying for another one of them. And they'll follow him around. And then when I come up and he'll go, honey, you got everything you need? They'll be like, oh. And then they look at me like, why is he married to her? I get the biggest chuckle out. And then I'll be like, look who's telling you, honey. And he's like, they're not telling me. And I'm like, oh, they were totally telling you. I was like, they were hoping you were not attached and ready to rumspringa. I said, they thought they found them a man's man. And he's like, they did not. I said, honey, he thinks he's ugly. And I'm like, you're a big, burly, grizzly Adams man. You're not ugly. You're handsome. I think the older he gets, the more handsome he gets. And he loves his big old long beard. I'll never make him cut it. I think he looks better with just a goatee, but he loves his big old long beard. So, hey, if he likes it, you do you, boo. I don't care. But he has no idea that he is one of those men that women that get older realize, oh, shoot, that's what I was supposed to marry instead of the sorry ones we picked first. And I picked the sorry one first time too, ladies. Let me tell you, that learning curve with romance, it'll sucker punch you. It's a hard one. So, has anybody noticed that they made Dutch Sense stop talking about earthquakes? Just, throw that in there. Does anybody notice that? They made Dutch Sense stop talking about earthquakes. A geological phenomenon. They made him stop talking. I mean, he is so smart. They made him stop talking about earthquakes. Why would you tell someone who is trained and so smart, has such wisdom, and is doing such a phenomenal thing for the community, heck, the world, why would you tell him to stop? And I believe Monkey Works is kind of in the same situation. Like, a lot of his stuff has changed to where it's not as in-depth anymore. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. And I went down to Mom's, and here's where Dad has got me. Everybody that visits that house, because he named that dog Ruby. Ruby is a song by the Osborne brothers about a woman they were in love with. And when they sing in the song, they say Ruby, they go, Ruby. And they also have a song about a dog called Tennessee Hound Dog. And so when Dad said he named her Ruby, I said, did you Tennessee Hound Dog that animal? And he said, yeah, I did. Well, everybody that visits Mom, you hear them in the driveway, because Ruby is the Walmart greeter of the house. She's literally 3.5 foot tall. She's giant. And then you hear everybody in the driveway go, Ruby. And every once in a while, I'll start singing the song back from the house. But everybody gets a tickle out of that. So I think my dad knew exactly what he was doing when he named that. Oh, yeah, Mr. McCall had a stroke on TV today. Yes, that was a stroke. That was a neurological, what is it? Infarct. INFARCT. Not fart. And that was a stroke. That was a freaking full-blown stroke on TV today. I felt bad for him, like I don't want to see anybody go through something like that. But does it not seem like they're falling apart from stress right now? Stress is not good. And sometimes if you do things in your life and you misrepresent things, or you create social disharmony, and you start to see the harm that you've done, and you start to hold some personal accountability, or people start to hold you accountable, it causes some stress in your life. And stress isn't good, especially for the aged. And stress was a whopper. And it just seems like the Democrats are just dropping like flies from some really stressful disorders. Of course, they're all over the hill and down the next one and not halfway up the other. But that was hard for me to watch. I felt bad for him. But then at the same time, I'm like, listen, dude, how rich are you? Go home. Enjoy your life. Stop trying to control ours. So I hope he's okay. He was still walking and stuff, and I think they led him back to the podium, but he was just not making too much sense. I hope he's okay, and I hope it was a mild one. It looked like it was a mild one, but by golly, gumdrops, that was a full-blown freaking stroke. I'm here to get. Well, I'm not a medical doctor. I cannot diagnose him, but in my opinion, that was a stroke. Yeah, have you noticed the change? Yeah, there a lot of people, and Dutch since put it out there that he was contacted and threatened. Contact and threatened me, by God. You'll hear some words you ain't never heard before. I'll teach you how to speak Appalachia hate real quick. Just what is this world coming to? My good God, we're scared of people educating and learning things. We are, yes, because then we might not be the antenna, energy, battery, robotic, morphed human being slaves that you need us to be. Is that why you're mad at us? Because we're learning about the Internet of Bodies, and we're learning about how our energetic and electrical body systems are being raped by our government. Yeah, I said it, YouTube. Suck my butt. We're learning that you take the minerals out of our water just so you have to sell them back to us, that there's no reason to take the minerals out of the water. You tell old people not to eat salt, but then when heat strokes or heat waves happen, the old people are the first to die because they don't have enough salt in their bodies to hold fluid to make it through the heat wave. I'm on to you. I'm on to you. I'm on to you like a walker hound onto a raccoon, or a red bone onto a deer. I don't like red bones. It just seems, and then everybody's mad at Jason Aldean because he said criminal behavior, we don't like to tolerate it. Well, our nation used to not. That's a racist criminal. Calling out criminal behavior is now racist. Really? So you'll sit there and you'll say, "Oh wait, but you're making fun of my race because, we have the highest population of." Sorry, my nose is itching. Highest population of people incarcerated, but you have the lowest population culturally. So do some work, improve yourself, talk to people. Don't pawn it off as us being racist when the statistics are just there. I mean, improve yourself. As long as we tolerate sorriness will continue. You let a horse get lazy, that horse will stay lazy. I used to have a horse that was so lazy, he'd forget he had me on his back, and he'd come across a sand pit on the trail and think he was going to lay down and roll. Good set of spurs straightened him up in about a week. Now, sometimes we need to be lit up a little bit. And then I go, and people will take on these causes that they don't understand crap about, but they feel so emotionally led to join in. And I'm like, God, your emotions are going to take you right over a cliff one day. My goodness. There was El Curso was the name of the horse farm. And they creep feed their foals starting at about 2.5, 3 months. So they bring the mamas into the barn. The mamas know to go into their bays to eat. The babies can go through a chute that only the babies can fit through. They get to eat a line of grain that's been put down that is digestive quality for babies. It's easily digested. It gets them to socialize, learn how to eat on their own, learn how to be separated from mama for a few minutes, even though they're just 6 foot away. Mama's in the bay right there looking at them. It gives them a little bit of independent socialization time. And it keeps the mamas from eating the grain that the babies need to learn how to start eating if they were to try to put it in the stall with mama and foal. It's called a creep feeder. The babies creep in there, the mamas can't get to the feed, and the babies get extra dietary needs, and it helps them. It makes you raise really good, healthy horses. They're doing it solid. And people are like, why are you weaning these animals at that age? None of them were crying. None of them were screaming. They were even chewing. You knew they were eating. And I thought, have we as a society gotten this stupid? So I explained what it was in a comment, and the El Curso people liked my comment. And I was like, I know what you're doing. I know that you're taking really good care of your horses, and somebody said, those are pre-Marin foals. No, they're not, because they kill those on birth. I mean, if you're going to start calling people names, do your homework. Do your homework. All it was that farm allowing those babies to have a few extra calories during the day that their mamas couldn't eat. While their mamas had dinner, the foals could go through the creep feeder, get in the creep feeder, eat, nibble, socialize, talk amongst themselves. Mama was just 6 foot away right behind them. And if the babies got out of order, mom would go, and the baby would be like, okay, cool, I'll be good. And then in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they were all let out back into the pasture and back together. It's a great learning experience for those babies, and it's a great dietary endeavor for those babies. And people were trying to say that he was trying to wean them too early, or he was slaughtering them for pre-mare info. And I was sitting there going, listen, we got a lot of stupid people in the world. We got to stop letting the stupid people have the platform. And that may seem rude and uncaring, but your children are going to learn from the people they see the most of, especially if they watch social media and television. You better make sure the people that your children see the most of are quality people. Otherwise, your child is going to grow up to be just as stupid as the people that are on the television today. Is that what you want? I sure don't want my granddaughter to be that stupid. I didn't want my kids to be that stupid either, so I monitored them. If you ask either one of my children, they say they were raised on parole. Yeah, there's so many politicians that should have retired a long time ago. That ego and money. And let me tell you what, if you're supposed to make $178,000 a year, and somehow you're worth $40 million, do not piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. I know you didn't do anything good to get that money. We ain't stupid. We need to stop letting them think we're stupid. And when they try to do these nasty little threat things, well, by God, roll off my front door and threaten me. Phone calling on work with me. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see people that are so intelligent be shut up by platforms. And I'm here to tell you, I've really been thinking, it's been on my heart a lot lately, about going to the Odyssey platform. About transitioning over to Odyssey. Oh yeah, animals teach their young much better than humans. Oh my gosh, yes. And I just could not believe how stupid those people were. Like, you could tell that none of them knew anything about horse farms, but they were all there to judge the horse farm. And I was like, listen, my dad's a farrier. I grew up working on horse farms. I worked on huge, multi-million-dollar horse farms. What this man is doing is a solid for these foals. What this man is doing is costing him extra money, but it is also extra care, and these foals are going to be amazing, amazing horses because of it. Y'all should be thanking him. And bless his heart, he sent me a message and was like, thank you. And I was like, not a problem. I was like, I know what you're doing. So, but it's just like, why are we so quick to go to hate and judge, and we're so slow to go and open up, crack a book, and put a wrinkle in our own brain? We just go with hate. Hate is not always the right emotion. Normally, if you're in a heightened emotion, if you're in your amygdala, you're not in a place where you need to be. You're not conducive to society. Let's just say that you're not in a place where you need to be making decisions and talking with other people and trying to be constructive, because you're not going to be constructive when you're in your amygdala. You're in your fight or flight mode, and that is not appropriate for society. And we've got to get our society back out of fight or flight mode, because they ain't crap to be running from. 330-something million people, close to 350 million people, probably way more than that, if you really don't think about it. And we got, what, maybe 600 people in government in total running our show? No, they are the fly on the bull's ass. They are the gnat on the bull's ass. The people are the bull. We got to remember that, you know. And you don't have to be violent. You just have to be firm and steady and consistent. The same thing you have to be when raising a child. Apparently, we're going to have to raise our politicians like we raise children now. Now, Mitchy Poo, it's nap time. You need to rest. You're going to be grumpy if you don't rest. You outdid yourself today. And that's maybe, you may think that's the most uncaring thing I've ever said, but literally somebody needs to tell the man, it's time to hang it up, son. Time to hang it up, son. Time to pass on the torch. You know, I had to make that decision at a young age as well. When my career was, you know, I couldn't keep my caseload because I knew if I was not consistent, because I was in the hospital every few weeks, it was going to hurt people on my caseload because they needed consistency. And my doctor was like, yep, you need to give it up or you're going to kill yourself. And, you know, that's certainly not going to help the people you're counseling. And I made the decision to step away because it was the best for everyone. And I would just for once, like for our politicians to make a decision that's the best for everyone. Ooh, I've got hidden ones. So I got somebody trying to be nasty, but that's okay. If you got a black heart, that just tells me that you've got something that you're struggling with that you're taking out on me, and that's okay. You know, if you need a target, I'll be a target. But until you understand what you're doing to others, you're never going to be able to love yourself. And it's really, the world is a better place when you love yourself. So I hope one day you're able to love yourself and be a light to others instead of a hate monger and a fear monger and a nasty person. You can say harsh things, but you can say them in a loving and light manner to where it's not, you know, you're not seeking to be a butthole. And that may be something, you know, maybe you don't have the vocabulary power to do that right now. Maybe you're still learning, maybe you're young, or maybe you're older and just did not focus on that when you were at that age. But, you know, put yourself out there and learn some better ways to discuss some things, use some better word choices, better phrasing, and you're going to have better conversations with people, and you're going to have better communication. And when you have better communication, you have better relationships. And when you have better relationships, you're happier. And when you're happier, you don't attack people. And so, you know, I hope that you can find a way to communicate more effectively, because a sentence should have a subject, verb, and predicate. And then sometimes they have like participle phrases and stuff like that, prepositional phrases, stuff like that. And you didn't even put a whole sentence. And like I've said many times on my channel, it only hurts if you can spell it. And I supervised murders for 10 years. So if you think you're going to tell me something that I ain't heard, and if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know, I'm not fat, buddy, I'm fat. I'm a fat old heifer. I'm a big old girl. Oh, I've done a lot of farm work in my day. I am a big freaking heifer. But it don't bother me to say that because I worked my butt off and I got injured when a boy threw an axe at me when I worked at a wilderness camp to get here. So it doesn't bother me at all. I'll tell you why I'm fat. I'm fat because I worked my butt off and I put myself in situations to take care of the kids that society wanted to cast away. And I took care of them. And yes, one of them injured me. And I have a neuromuscular disorder, much like MS, that is slowly killing me. But people don't want to know that. They just want to make fun of people. And I understand, you know, you think it's an easy target. That's fine. If you think I'm an easy target, you go for that. But that's laziness on your behalf, because if you really thought you were going to change the world with your remarks, you would find somebody who cared and you would actually go after somebody that you could actually change, because you're not going to change me. Because I'm the biggest stick in the mud and I know who I am. So my husband loves me and God loves me, and I really don't give a shit about anybody else. So if you think you're going to upset me, nah. I'm still sitting here and haven't even lost the thread count yet. So thanks, but if you can't even make a sentence structure, nah, probably not gonna do much for me. So, you know, what's the point of having to send hidden comments? I mean, if you can't share it amongst everybody, I mean, what's the point? I mean, what is the point? Oh, another moderator just handled this. My girls will get you. But on this channel, we take care of each other and we talk about things and we have all sides discussions. And if you want to come and have an all side discussion, that's great. But if you're going to come in here and be a little biting chihuahua, a little length biter, no, we don't tolerate that, because here we use big words and we have big hearts and we make big decisions and we talk about big life choices. And, you know, if you want to be a big person, you're welcome to stay here. But if not, you're going to have to move on. And that's just how it is around here, because we got a good family and we take the trash out, but lots of times it just never stops by because we just don't attract very much trash. So I'll let you make a decision. Are you trashed? You need to take yourself out, or does one of my mods need to let you go? I really do hope, though, that you make better and healthier decisions about communication, because you're not going to do very well in life if you're going to talk like that. So, at least I got disabled, changing people's lives and bettering them and improving them, and helping the world, and the teens that have been abused and had become aggressive. I helped them change their lives. So, I'm very proud, even though I'm disabled, I'm very proud of the things that I've done in my life, even though I got injured at work and have a neuromuscular disorder. I'm very proud, because I was a parole officer for a decade after that. And I went through 5 surgeries before I gave up. I went through 37 hospitalizations before I gave up. And that you can in no way discredit me with 3 statements on the internet out of ignorance. I mean, that is really poor context for someone to be exhibiting on the internet as an adult. I hope you're an adult. If you're not, you need to go tell your mommy that you're not a very nice person and you need a tutor. Because complete sentences are necessary in life, and you're going to need to know the parts of grammar that you're missing out on right now. So, thank you, Denise, for handling that. Some people are just born to be buttholes. And, there's a certain portion of the population that just do not and cannot accept a different viewpoint. And, if you can't sit and talk about options and opinions and different lifestyles and different perspectives, then how are you going to function in society? How are you going to function in society and have a happy and appropriate and productive life if you can't even communicate on the internet? I mean, if you can't communicate on the internet, how can you communicate effectively person to person? I mean, really, let's just talk about that. How does, because if there's a deficit somewhere, there's a deficit elsewhere. Hi, Nathan. We've had some turds drop by, so please don't be a turd. If you're wondering what I'm sewing, I'm making it's a garment quality beaver hide I'm turning into a canteen purse. Because I have arthritis also, and I try to keep it at bay, and I do crafts to keep it at bay, and I am half Irish and half Cherokee, and I do a lot of native crafts. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm pretty interesting. But we just like to sit, chill, chat, and have some pretty interesting conversations. And we look at the world and we talk about what we see. And if we see something we don't like, we talk about that too. And it's okay to talk about those things, even though our society is turning into a place where they don't like communication. Communication and dialogue is what's going to save this nation. Learning how to talk to somebody and how to have a difference of opinion and to not take it as a personal attack. So I'm almost done with this one side, so I'm probably going to stop for the evening. And I need to clean up and make David's dinner for tomorrow and do some stuff while I've got the strength to do it, because I know after I do that injection, I probably won't. And just keep me in your thoughts the next few days, my health, and hope that I do well with this and that it is a positive thing. Now, I know that the bots and the buttholes are going to come out of the woodworks. Please don't feed the trolls. Just let them be trolls. Just kick them out and go on. People are just buttholes sometimes. Their origin story, like I said, people sometimes never get far from their origin story. Everybody is bored about this far away from an asshole, and some people just continue to act like them because it's the first thing they saw. So sometimes we just got to let people understand that they just haven't moved on from their origin story, and we just have to understand that that's probably just somebody we're not going to be able to deal with, and we just move on and find more appropriate people to share our perspectives with. There's no need sitting and fussing about it, so ain't no need to be upset about it. I ain't upset a bit. I feel bad for people that can't communicate and haven't learned how to really talk, but it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's gonna hurt their life, and it's gonna cause them great trauma, and I feel bad for them. But I don't feel bad for me when people call me names, because I'm very secure in who I am. I mean, if you supervise murderers for a decade, you've probably been called a little bit of everything. It ain't gonna surprise me. First time you get sat down, second time you get sent out. That works for me. And the aggressive, like, even when I'm talking about, it's like I say it in a country kind way. I'm not being a butthole, but we need to be talking about these things, and we need to be having these dialogues. And these people that just come on and try to use aggression to make you stop talking, they're just trying to back you into a corner. They are just the hateful mare in the paddock that likes to chase the others and bite their butts, and that is not the dominant mare. That is the troublemaker. That is the one that normally gets sold, moved on out, or put in the field by herself. And I understand that. And I know that, these people that come on here and are buttholes to other people, they probably have very lonely lives. They probably don't have very good level of communication skills, and they're struggling. And so they want to put the struggle on someone else. But I ain't taking no struggles today. Sorry about your luck. I ain't taking no struggles today. Your problem is not my problem. But if you'll make my problem your problem, that's your problem, not my problem. Everybody follow that? What I say, you don't have to believe. But what I say on this channel is what I get to say. And if you can't talk nice about it, then you don't get to use your voice. We all try to talk politely around here. So, but even though I don't like Mitch McConnell, I tossed up prayers for him immediately, because I don't want anyone to go through something like that. That was scary. That was hard to watch. But it's time. It's like, dude, resign. Enjoy some of your life. You've made billions in your time in our political forum. Go sit at home and enjoy some of your life. Like, why would you continue this stressful work when you should be enjoying some time to yourself? These are your golden years. Freaking enjoy them. I mean, it's like, why? So I hope that he thinks about that. And I hope that he makes a good decision. I hope he talks with his medical team and makes a good decision, because, dude, it's time to hang it up. I mean, that was a very scary health issue. And obviously, we got some health stuff going on. And obviously, he needs to be spending more time at home and resting and allowing his body to age without this stress on it, because this stress apparently is not very good for him. But even though I don't care for him particularly, personally, I'm still going to send up prayers for him, because I don't want anybody to experience something like that. That's freaking scary, AOC's dumber than a box of rocks, if you ask me. I still pray every night that the Lord would intervene in her world and show her the truth, and that's how I feel, and that's how I get to feel. And, these people that come in and try to bully and say, no, you will have my emotions. What happened to my body, my choice? Did that just go out the window 5 seconds ago? Is that that's only when it benefits? Okay, it's only when it benefits you. Okay. Gotcha. So we just need to start being consistent and not getting riled when people come up to be angry, and just saying, listen, I see what you're trying to do. It's not going to work. You're showing your deficits. You're showing that you don't have the skills necessary for, socialization and positive communication. Work on them. I hope you work on them, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard life. And I don't want anybody to have a hard life. Work on yourself. Improve yourself. Make yourself better. If you're not growing as a person, what's the point? If you're not growing and learning, what's the point? Do research, read the news, and look at things that you don't always agree with, and ask yourself, where do these people come from? What is their motive for looking at this? What is their motivation? And what is their end goal? And what am I missing that they are so, struck by this? What am I missing? And try to look at other people's beliefs like that and understand them rather than tear them apart. Try to understand them, But now, when it comes to Hunter Biden, I can't for the life of me understand why anybody would video himself snorting crack with an illegal firearm and with an illegal prostitute across international lines. You know, as a ex-law enforcement, I just, sorry. Can't wrap my head around that one and will not. Okay, so I've got the first half sewed. And obviously, you know, you sew it inside out. So when I flip it, and I'll have to get all the edges just right and then pull the hair. This is going to be kind of stiff. It's going to be kind of like a canteen purse. So, and I'll have to fluff all the hair so it hides all the laces. But I'm really excited about this. I had one of these that was leather tooled when I was a kid. And I kept looking at the hat rounds David was cutting, and I was like, I can do something else with that. So I'm going to make one of these. And I'm hoping it's going to turn out okay. We will see. Oh, thank you, Denise. You're wonderful. Appreciate that. Maybe Nathan will stick around and be a positive addition to the family. I don't pop on here for attention. I pop on here for quality people and to talk about things that really matter and to share things that I'm dealing with that might help someone else. So anyone that wants to pop on and be a kind addition is welcome here. And you know, and we ask some hard questions sometimes, but you know, as long as we can talk about them civilly, then it's great. So, okay, well, it is now 8:12. I've got some other stuff I'm going to do. Thanks for hanging with me so long. I got one whole side of that sewed. I got the whole side on it. I just got to put the other round on it and the flap now and then lace the straps. It'd be a 2-day project at least, but I've got a good start. Feel good about it. My hands did really good during it all. The knots that the arthritis was creating on my... That's a big knot there. The knot, that one right there. Oh, that one right there hurts. The knots that the arthritis was creating on my fingers are slowing down since I've been doing more of this sewing as my physical therapy. So I feel like I've gotten a handle on that. So things are improving. But my life is fixing to take a change, and I hope you follow me with the change. And we'll see if it's going to be positive or negative very soon. So I love you guys. Take care of yourself. And if you don't see me for a couple of days, you know why. I had to put my medication start date off until after Mom's knee replacement. She was woozy for a couple of days. So starting it tonight, pray for me. And let's just stay positive and get through this. So y'all have a good day. I should see you by the weekend, I hope, if I feel good. Love you guys. Night.